Good afternoon, good morning, and good night. Welcome to the Empower Hour. This is Isabel Starck coming to you from Toronto, and I'd like to share to our episode number 8. This is actually a very special episode because it's the introduction of my interviews of successful women entrepreneurs in our field and outside of our field who are really killing it in their business. So today's special guest is coming to us from Brisbane, Australia. So that is the reason that we are actually recording this episode a few hours earlier and having it made available to you on 12 o'clock on Wednesdays, as always, with the Empower Hour. So I'm going to do a few tests here to make sure that everything is working, make sure that Sam is connected live. So let me just take a look here. Thank you for your patience. Let's see. Here we go. Invitation is posted. So she'll be joining us soon. And before we get started, I just would like to kind of reconnect with you guys and let you know what's been going on since last week. I believe I had touched on a few cases of periscoping and how Periscope has actually just kind of really bursted onto the scene and what it means for you and your business. Periscope, if you haven't heard of it yet, is another social media platform that allows you to connect live with your clients or potential clients. And what it really allows you to do is it lets you see the world through another person's eyes. So basically with Periscope, you can connect at any time of the day, and there is a nice little handy map that shows you how many people are actually periscoping live. As long as you have an account, you can actually connect live to their Periscope. So you'll be seeing the world through their iPhone camera. Now, some people use it for business, other people use it for, some really cool landscapes that they might be at. People on a roller coaster, videotaping that. So you really get to be in the hot seat with them and experience their life and what they're going through. So I've been watching and just doing a lot of research with the Periscopers and seeing that was actually Periscope there, making sure that Sam's not sending me a message. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of research on that, and it's a great platform because your audience gets to actually interact with you live, and not by sound, but just typically by typing in, and you get to answer their questions if needed. Or the other thing is they give you lots of hearts. So by giving people hearts, it really shows that they are interested in the conversation and like what you are saying. So again, I'm going to just double check and make sure that Sam is connected to us live here. Send her another invitation. Make sure that goes out proper. There we go. So yeah, we'll probably have Sam jumping on here very soon, and once she does, we can get underway with the interview. So before she joins us, I want to talk to you a little bit about what the theme that has been coming up a lot in my Facebook group that many of you know of, which is called the Fiercely Feminine Entrepreneur. And I saw a lot of engagement regarding your top to do. It was just something that I threw out there one day because I found that in the scheduling of my time, I have typically tons of things on my to-do list. And there are some days that I get it done, very few, so you can get all of it done. Typically something needs to be forwarded until the next day, or until next week, or totally delegated to somebody else because you just really don't have the time to do it all. So what I implemented is called the top to do. So that means for every area in our life that is important for us, we actually list the top one that we really need to get done, or that we would feel really great accomplishing. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a stretch for you to get there. Like my physical ones, we're actually doing 100 push-ups. you had a whole day to do them, so, but still, 100% is quite a bit. So I accomplished them on the 2 or the 3 days that I chose to have that as a top to do. But it can, like I said, it can push you a little bit to actually achieve what your goals are. Excuse me, here, I got the frog. Thank you all. Sorry about that. So, as I was saying, with the top to do and being able to identify what your top one is a great thing. However, you do want it to be able to be accomplished. You don't want to stretch yourself too hard, because at the end of the day, what you're trying to avoid is really laying in bed and thinking, wow, that was a whirlwind of a day. What did I get done? And I've had those days where I'm lying in bed and wondering, I was so busy, I am so exhausted, but I don't feel like I actually did anything towards my goals, whether it be business, physical, personal, spiritual. So I was really trying to combat that, and by doing so, I've done it by again identifying the top to do and being clear with that. I'm going to just do another double check and make sure that Sam is coming to us live and connected. Let's see here. Thank God for technology. I'm going to try her on her phone, make sure that we are all great here. So yes, we will wait for her to respond. Oh, there she is. Thank goodness for technology. Isn't this amazing? Here we are on different sides of the world. Sending. Okay, it looks like I have to re-invite her, guys. So thank you very much for your patience. Okay, we've posted that invitation, so hopefully she will be able to connect soon. So getting back to my top to do. Really, the reason I created that, or I've shared it with everybody, is so that you can, again, feel accomplished at the end of your day, instead of feeling like you've just been doing busy work all day for other people, even for yourself, and not really feeling like you're making any strides forward in accomplishing your final goals of the day, of the year, your 10-year plan even. So I really hope that by you just taking a look at what it is that your schedule is and really trying to stay out of overwhelm. It's really, that was one of the main reasons, is I was finding so many women coming to me, talking to me about, I have so many things to do, I have so much stuff on my plate, and I don't feel like I get anything done. And that's because if your focus is so spread that, across maybe 10, 20, 30, 50 things to do in a day, it's really difficult to do them all 100%. So really focusing your time to being able to accomplish a few goals, which my top to do is typically anywhere from like maybe 3 to 5 goals a day. And I really try to focus on having a goal for each very important topic in my life. So there's personal, there's business, there's my body, so action, and also my mind. So whether that's learning or meditation. So those are my top topics. And yeah, it really helps me just really feel accomplished. And I believe that from experience that it'll also help you. So I really encourage you to try it out. If you'd like to join our conversation over in the Facebook group, it is at Facebook groups dot facebook.com/groups/Fierce Femme Fab, and that is called the Fiercely Feminine Entrepreneur Group. So I'm going to do one more test here and make sure that Sam is connected. Yes, that was a little bit of a yawn. It is quite late here tonight, so let's see. Oh, I think I see her.
Oh, I'm here.
There you are. Welcome. It's so wonderful to have you. Thank you. I've been doing a little bit of intro, and I haven't totally introduced you yet because I really wanted to wait until you came on. But yes, everybody, our guest has arrived, so we will actually be switching gears into the interview stage. So why don't you come on and just say hello to the group?
Hi, everyone.
Wonderful.
Can
So
you
here we are, North America and Australia on a Google Hangout for you. So wonderful, wonderful to have you on. I am going to go ahead and just introduce you, and then I'll let you take it away. As I mentioned to you earlier, we have a guest. This is actually our first ever interview for the Empower Hour, which that was my true intention for this show going forward. And I really needed to kind of establish myself in the beginning and have you all really get to know me. So we had a few weeks of me just kind of talking to you, answering your questions. And now that we've really established a good relationship here, it's time to bring on the real guests. So I am so excited to introduce to you Sam Morrisey from, as I mentioned, Brisbane, Australia. And what Sam does, she is actually a business and life mastery success coach. So she really focuses on helping women, just really determined women who want to create their businesses and create a profitable business and life. So Sam, I'm going to allow you to elaborate a little bit more on how you help women. And of course, you know, we'll have a few questions. There are 5 top questions that I ask all of my guests. And then we'll just see where the conversation goes from there. So why don't I let you go ahead and tell everybody your side of what you do.
Hi, everybody. And Isabel, I am just feel so privileged to be here. So thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm so happy to talk to your community and our community that you've created for us. So thank you very much for that. I guess a little bit more about me and what I do. I really support radical women in creating a business and life that really challenges the status quo. So these women are creating epic lives based on meaning, freedom, and choice. So I guess it's if you really desire to embark on like a radical exploration of what may be possible for you in your most epic life and take inspired action to make that happen, then I support the women who are moving forward and doing that in their lives.
Very cool. Very cool. So with that, and you know, I know that you've been in business for a number of years in the coaching business, and plus have a little bit more history. I'm sure it'll probably come out a bit more. I really just wanted to find out from you when you look at success and you define success for yourself. I would just love to hear what your true definition of success is.
Wow, this actually comes up a lot. I get this question a lot, and I've had 2 really different experiences of success in my life, because before I moved into coaching, I created a life that people would look at and really consider a huge success. You know, I made great money. I had a very successful corporate career. I've got several businesses apart from my coaching business. You know, and people would look at my life and think, you know, this woman is successful. But on the inside, I was actually really miserable. So I guess my definition of success now is super simple. It's, am I smiling more than I'm frowning, in a way? It's really defined by happiness for me and upholding a life of integrity and purpose. Does the life I'm living mostly make me feel good in the truest sense of the word, I guess?
Now you touched on something there about having multiple businesses. Can you tell our guests a little bit more about your background?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in corporate coaching for over 10 years. That's actually what I did in my corporate career. So I would coach high-level leaders in some of the largest financial institutions in Australia, and I would support them in really, one, increasing the bottom line in their business for sure, and also coaching and developing their team. So that's my coaching history. But I've also got a history in business as well. So I've had my own businesses for probably around 9 years now. I have a company in Australia that has multiple locations, and it's completely different to coaching. It's actually an indoor skate park and retail freestyle BMX shop. So, we've got 2 locations now, looking at a third. And I've got my real purpose and my true purpose in life, which is my coaching business, and that's my baby. I've actually taken a bit of a step back from our other businesses. And obviously, I'm not in my corporate career at all anymore, but yeah. So my coaching business is my big focus now, and my purpose, along with being a mummy, of course.
Wonderful. Yes, you mentioned being a mommy, and that's obviously one of the great things that we get to do as coaches as well, is to be able to have our children alongside us and be able to watch them grow in these very precious moments of their young lives.
Yes, absolutely. And that is something that is so important to us and to me in my entrepreneurial journey, because our children are homeschooled, not curriculum based at all. So, they really are observing our entire journey of life. And, that's just all part of our success and what we've created for ourselves in our family. And yeah, that's something that's so wonderful about being an entrepreneur, that we can really design our lives as we see fit.
Wonderful. Well, you actually lead right into my next question, which is, as entrepreneurs, we take a lot of risks. And with risks, obviously, there's a lot of fears that come up. One of my questions that I love to ask, or I'm going to start asking everybody, is, what is your biggest fear? Like, what is the largest fear that you've ever overcome? Or maybe it's something that you're looking forward to overcoming. Would you like to share?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is really a continual thing for me, and I probably wouldn't go as far as to say I've completely overcome it, but I have become very courageous in pushing past it. And it's quite cliche, and it's the biggest fear that I feel I've really overcome is the fear of being judged and of what others really think of me. And I really attribute that to a lot of the success that I've had in my coaching business so far. Like I mentioned before, growing up, I was a really dedicated people pleaser. I did previously create this life for myself that was, people would look in on and think, this woman is truly successful, but I was miserable. And what I realized was I was really building a life based on what I thought the expectations of others were, and what I thought would have me be loved and accepted and prestigious, really based on societal norms. And overcoming that fear of being judged by people or being an outsider, that has been and is still a continual journey, and has been the most terrifying and empowering experience, I would say, in one hit.
Well, it sounds like you've really turned your fear into something that you could really embrace, which, that is something that I really love to do with women, is just really having them embrace everything about themselves. And I would just love for you to share as to, how and what it actually took for you to know who you really are and to be living your best possible life now.
Wow. If I was really honest with you, that's a really difficult question to answer. And it was just a journey, and is a continual journey. And it was actually a really difficult journey for me. It seems that I'm the kind of person that really needs the universe to beat her over the head a few times before she gets the message. But luckily, I do eventually get the message. Like I said, I spent years doing everything that I thought everybody else would think prestigious. I was a real typical high achiever. I guess if I had to really narrow it down to what has had me really create this life that I love and find who I am truly in myself, it would definitely have to be having faith that I would do it. I remember as a 5 and a 6-year-old thinking that the normal life, the 9 to 5 job and those kinds of things, there was more. And again, this sounds so cliche, but there was more to life than that. I knew I was meant for something more. And I would very sneakily, if that's even a word, search for other alternatives to a normal life constantly. As I was growing up, I tried so many different business ideas, even as a teenager. And I really just think the journey and the constant striving for personal development, the constantly looking for the alternative, trying different things, testing different things, I feel that is what has brought me to the point that I'm at today, and just being able to live this life and being open to the possibility of living a life that is based on my own core values and is not based on societal norms and is based on my own true desires.
So, I really like how you put the faith in there, because I know that we, as ourselves, we really need to have faith and believe in ourselves to be able to accomplish, the big goals that we set. And especially as entrepreneurs, we put that bar up high because we're in these businesses so that we can have the freedom. And you really have to have the faith a lot of the times to know that it's gonna make it. You're gonna get through to the other end. So it's really great to hear you talk about faith, because I think it's one of the top ones for sure. So I wanted to ask you about, are you frozen? I think you...
I lost you for a minute, but I think you're coming back to me.
Yeah, okay, now you're back. So, you mentioned that you're a mom. Because I know you, I know that you have 2 children, and you have your multiple businesses. So I would just love to know if there's any tools that you actually use in your, during your day that really help you stay organized and maybe build your business or get your business going. Just something a little tip that you might want to give to the viewers.
As in, what do I do to make sure that I'm, able to get things done and do all the things that I need to do?
Yeah, it could be that, or it could be like actual tools. Like some people use a specific kind of planner, or other people, they hire maybe a driver to take their kids around. What kind of tools do you implement?
Yeah, okay. There's a couple of things. So one is my calendar. I have a very specific calendar to get things done, schedule, I guess some people could call it, and it is down to the hour, but it's beautifully flexible. So I know, initially when people start using calendars, especially very creative people, and I'm quite creative myself, it can feel, or you have this fear that it's going to be really restricting. But for me, it was just the most freeing thing that I have ever done, is to, really embrace my calendar. So my calendar is probably my biggest tool in relation to getting things done. The other thing I make a point of is actually not doing everything myself. So I've got a personal assistant and a virtual assistant, and this was a really big thing for me to overcome, because I come from in my previous life, I actually did glorify being ridiculously busy. I think I'm sure there's a lot of women out there, and mothers in particular, nodding their heads around this, but I really glorified being busy, being stressed. I felt that I needed to constantly be doing everything. I could never ask for help. Well, that's not me anymore. I am definitely a person who feels that I can have it all, but I can't do it all. So I have a personal assistant, and I also have a virtual assistant who really support me and make me feel, and a cleaner as well. I have somebody who comes in and cleans my house as well. So I feel beautifully supported, and the outsourcing is another important tool for me in relation to just being able to give my best self to the world, really.
It's wonderful. And actually being able to give your best self to the closest people around you, which is the ones who need you the most. So that's really great to hear. And yeah, I'm a firm believer as well that you can have it all. You can't do it all yourself. There's not enough hours in the day. You don't have enough hands. You don't have enough energy.
Yeah, and I feel as well like something that people really don't take into account there is the mental space that doing everything yourself takes up. That was a huge shift for me that I was not even expecting. Like, obviously time is, we've got two really big resources, time and money at least is renewable, time is not. So, I knew I'd be creating more time by outsourcing or being able to give some of these things away. But what I was not prepared for was the mental space that it was going to create for me, and not having to spread my brain over so many different things. That was really a big contributor in the success of my business, being able to create that, not only the time, but the mental space to really focus in on what I was doing and my purpose, as well as being beautifully present for my children.
Wonderful. Would you say that that's actually one of the most powerful things that you've been able to contribute to your success?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was a huge lesson for me, the not doing everything myself. And and I remember the very first time I thought to myself, is this a possibility for me? Can I consider taking on a personal assistant? At the time, I was pretty strapped for cash. And, I was like, even if I could just take somebody on for 5 hours, or not even, like 3 hours a week. I think I started off with 3 hours a week with a personal assistant. And what she did for me in that 3 hours created so much mental space that it just grew from there. I just managed my resources to move to 5 hours, and I, took a virtual assistant on board as well. And those women create so much mental space and time in my life for me to concentrate on the things that I love to do, which is spending time with my children and my husband and coaching women. I want to spend time in my business coaching. That's what I love to do. I want to pretty much do all of the things that I love in my life and my business, and none of the things that I don't. So opening myself up to that possibility and handing some of those things over is a huge contributor to the success that I've created.
Wonderful. For those who are coaches and who are listening to this live or recorded, can you give some tips as to where you've maybe found your virtual assistants or what to look for?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually looked for a recommendation around a personal assistant. The market is flooded with so many different, it's almost a little bit like coaches, that it is really flooded with a whole bunch of different people. And it was really, really important to me that I got somebody who was competent at what they were doing. I know that women like us, and probably women who are listening to this recording, we have this beautiful ability to see potential in people. And it's so tempting to grab this virtual assistant that you see all this potential in. But I was really, really careful this time to make sure that I took somebody on board who I knew was already really competent. It wasn't about potential, because I wanted them to be able to come in and take these things off me straight away. I didn't want to have to nurture them and guide them, in becoming this amazing virtual assistant. So I had a really strong boundary there around getting somebody who was already competent, that I did not need to give my support to, because I needed the support myself. So my first tip would definitely be, make sure that you're looking for competence and not potential. The second would be, yes, get a recommendation. If you can find somebody who has already a proven track record, I just find that is always the best way to go in relation to any kind of staff member, so that, you can get a bit of information about how they work already, and that they are succeeding at what they've done. So that'd be the two biggest things. I think that I asked in a few of my closer knit groups on Facebook, and my current personal assistant is working with several of my colleagues already as well. Well, not so many anymore, but yeah, so definitely got a recommendation there.
Well, those are great tips for our listeners. I really think that they will take those to heart. And, that's obviously one piece of advice, but I was just wondering if there was like one key thing that piece of advice that you could give to somebody who's thinking of getting into the coaching world, what would that be?
Wow, it's really hard to think of one piece of advice to give, but if I had to give I feel like the most powerful advice that I could give, it would be just to choose. Make the decision that you're in it no matter what. It's almost like not knowing how to is no longer an excuse for anybody, because we've got, we jump on Google and we can find 1,000 answers to our problems, 1,000 marketing strategies. There's knowledge now at our fingertips, but we have to really make that decision that we're going to apply that knowledge and that we're in it no matter what. I feel like that was another really big contributor to my success. It was almost not even about trust. It was about testing things and finding the best way for me in my business and my life that felt like it was in integrity for me. And just making that firm decision that I'm making this happen. There's nothing that's going to stop me. I know I'm just going to keep going until I make it happen. So just choose. Choose.
And follow it up with persistence and with faith, as you mentioned before.
Yep. Yes, and in inspired action. Take inspired action, because obviously, we can make a decision about something and say, yes, I'm going to do it, but without the action, nothing's going to come from it. So take that inspired action.
Awesome. Great tips. Now, with the way that you work, I would love for you to tell our listeners how it is that you can actually service them the best.
I guess in relation to, what I think the most powerful thing that I can really do to support my clients, if I have to really narrow it down, I guess for my clients is to really help them paint pictures of possibility. So really help them give themselves that permission to dream big and create something magnificent in their business and in their lives. And, I'm all about moving away from societal norms and challenging the status quo. And the most powerful thing I can do for my clients is to really help them access, I guess, the potential that is within them to create their most epic life and break free from any limiting conditions or, societal norms that they've been held to in the past or that they've held themselves to in the past, and really become that leader in their chosen field and change the lives of many people with integrity, in service, and taking inspired action to achieve that.
Being a coach myself, I can attest to the fact that the blocks really do come up. And regardless if somebody comes to you for marketing or accounting or copywriting, you always are faced with this block, whether it's, a financial block or a self-worth block. I mean, do you agree?
Absolutely. I think with massive transformation, always comes challenges and uncomfortable feelings, and we've really all been taught to think a certain way based on different societal norms and how we've grown up in our families, and moving through those blocks is challenging and it's really uncomfortable. And I feel that there's always a time where we feel, oh, it's just too much, or, we think about quitting. And I feel that that's another really large part of my job as a coach, is to really support women through those uncomfortable feelings so that they can achieve that epic life. And it's normal.
Yeah, it is. It is. I love everything that you've said. I mean, it's the societal norms and, challenging the status quo. I can really feel that from you. And also, of course, I know you personally, but I know that you really take a stand for that. And it really shows in the way that you show up. So kudos to you for that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I just have one final question. And if you've been, actually, I know you've been in the Fiercely Feminine Entrepreneur group lately, you saw that I introduced something called the Top to Do. And the Top to Do is actually you taking your calendar, which you already told us you have, and choosing really what are kind of like your non-negotiable things that you really need to accomplish. And, sometimes it might just be, I need to take a shower because you maybe are not having the greatest day. I need to take a shower today. But with your top to-dos, I'm just wondering, what is your top to-do for the year of 2015? Do you have goals set out that far in advance, or?
Do you know what? I'm actually a real systems-based girl. Based on my previous career, I'm all about the systems and all about the really tangible goals. This year, I'm really trying to go with things that are more, make me feel really amazing. And, I know a lot of people have a really specific money goal, and don't get me wrong, I love money. I push my business to 7 figures, just like, the majority of coaches, I guess. But my top to do around 2015 is really to continue my own personal development journey. I'm in a really liberating and important phase of my personal development journey at the moment, and my real goal for 2015 is to continue to really uncover my true self and be able to create my business with a lot of integrity, and also, I guess I would tack on the end, like I would tack on to that I just really want to get my message out there even more than it already is. Just to really support women in moving away from societal norms and opening their minds up to the possibility of creating epic lives that are based on choice and freedom and flexibility, and, creating amazing money as well. So we're well supported and changing lives and making a difference in the world. So, that would be my top to do for 2000.
Oh, we froze a little bit. I'm not sure if you heard us, but it sounds like that was your actual top to do. I think that's an amazing one. You mentioned also choosing earlier. I think just being able to choose what it is that you really want is so important and so empowering. But one of the words that just keeps kind of coming up when you're speaking is the word epic. And I love your drive to be able to facilitate that in other women and be able to help them reach their most epic life that's possible for them.
Yeah. And, for me, epic, and this is something that has been coming up, epic, this word has been coming up in my journal, and that's why I use it so much. It comes up so much for me. And the truth is that this epic life is different for everybody, and there's no, there doesn't need to be any boundaries around it. There doesn't need to be any rules around it. You can bust out of that box. You don't have to base your life on these societal norms. It is completely possible for you to be well supported, to not have to do everything for yourself, to move away from crazy busy and be able to spend your time doing the things that you love to do and none of your time on the things that you don't want to do, and create amazing businesses that make a difference to people in the world. And, that to me, you being able to design that yourself is an epic life.
That's wonderful. I think I hear a program coming up for Sam Morrisey, The Epic Life. So this is actually, we're getting to the end of our call. I would love for you to, if there's anything that I missed that you would like to add and share with the listeners, you can actually tell us now, and make sure that you actually tell everybody how they can get in touch with you. So is there anything that you would like to add?
Just keep swimming. There is a lot, and this is something that's been coming up for me a lot as well, probably over the last fortnight to a month, that people have been contacting me about this. And there's a lot of hype-based marketing out there, and there's a lot of women doing amazing things. And I just would really love to remind everybody that everyone has their own journey. Everybody has their own journey and their own life path, and you don't have to be the same as everybody else. If you don't like how a particular person who is successful does something, you can create your own path. You don't need to be, it's the same in our industry. You don't need to be boxed in. You can create something that feels beautiful for you, that makes money and has become well supported so that you can give your very best self to the world. I guess what I'm trying to say is really just open your mind up to the possibility that you can create something magnificent that's not the same and that you feel really wonderful about. How people can contact me?
Yeah, those clients will find you once you put that authentic self out, and they will come in droves, really, because they're looking for somebody just like you.
Yep, be you, be yourself. And I guess if people are looking to contact me, they feel free to email me at sam@sammorrisey.com, or you can check out my website at www.sammorrisey.com, or you can search your freestyle life on Facebook.
Fabulous, fabulous. And I will include your website in the details below. So if you go back to the recording of this, you'll always be able to find the details regarding how to contact Sam. So this has been great. I think we have a successful first interview for the Empower Hour, and I'm so grateful that you've actually taken the time to do this, because here it is, almost 11 o'clock for me, and I know it's quite early in the morning for you, but we made it happen, and I, past all the technical glitches that we got past in the beginning, I'm really grateful for you just hanging in there with me and just really being so gracious. So I really want to say thank you very much.
Oh, you are most welcome. And I just really love to say to you, Isabel, that you are doing beautiful things in the world. Thank you so much for creating the FFE community. It's a really beautiful space for everybody. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you and get a little bit more of my message out there.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Any way that I can help, you know that I'm here. So thanks. Yeah. Got a little teary-eyed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I'm sorry?
I say keep being fabulous.
Oh, you too, darling. We are fabulous in our sweatpants when we need to be.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Well, this is the end of episode 8. Thank you very much for chiming in. We look forward to seeing you next week on, I believe it's July 8th, where I will have our second interview, and details will be found on the Google Plus page. So thanks again. Good afternoon, good morning, and good night, and we will see you all next week. Bye for now.